Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Parr, and on this episode of Math Up to Par, we are going to be talking about geometric patterns. So, when I say the word geometric, I'm talking about shapes. So, geometric patterns, which are patterns with shapes, those can be growing patterns or they can be repeating patterns. So, they can either be growing or they can be repeating. All right, so if a pattern is repeating, it means that one set of the pattern happens over and over and over again. If the pattern is growing, then that means the shape is either getting larger with each set or it could be getting smaller. So growing refers to either getting larger or shrinking. So you need to look at the first set of shapes and you're going to need to determine, do those first set repeat, or is something happening to them where they're getting bigger, getting smaller? And so you need to decide that when you're looking at the first part of your pattern. Then you will need to be able to extend the pattern and tell what the future shapes might be. So let's try it on this set of shapes. I notice right here that I have a heart, then an arrow, then a moon, and then a cloud. And then I get a heart again. So I know that I already had a heart, and then it looks like I have an arrow again, all right? And it looks like I have a moon. It doesn't have my next piece, but it looks like where my pattern starts over is with the heart. So I can identify that this set of my pattern is what is going to repeat. So that means that this is a repeating pattern. If I were going to extend this pattern, after my moon would come the cloud. Sorry, that's a silly looking cloud there. Then after the cloud, I would have another heart, which would then come with an arrow afterwards. So I could continue extending this on. Now, when it asks what the 12th shape would be, I can either draw all the way out, which I probably have close to 12 right here. It also asks me the 17th shape. It could ask me the 48th shape. Instead of drawing all the way out, I can identify the set that repeats, and I can look at that set and decide what the 12th, 17th, whatever number it would be. So if this is 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then this would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So my cloud would be my 12th shape. Okay, my 17th shape, if I've counted to 12, I know another 4 would be 16, which I could count individually, 13, 14, 15, 16. Or if you know how to count by fours, you could count that way. So I get up to 16, so that means 17 would be the heart. Okay, so you can just identify the part of the pattern that's repeating, and then that can help you count those parts to see what your 12th shape, what your 17th shape, what your 48th shape might be, any of those. So this set of shapes right here, this is an example of a growing geometric pattern, okay? So the other one was repeating, this one is growing, okay? So you can see the shapes are getting larger, but just like every pattern, patterns all follow the rules, okay? So each pattern has its own set of rules. For this other one that was repeating, these 4 shapes repeated over and over again. For these shapes right here, I see that I have 4, and then I have 9, and then I have 16. You might notice that these numbers, I can't really see, a necessarily pattern with these, but I noticed that this is 2 rows by 2 columns. And this is 3 rows by 3 columns. And this is 4 rows by 4 columns. This is 5 rows by 5 columns. So what this shows me is that each square is growing by 1 row and 1 column each time to make a new perfect square. So if I were going to extend this pattern, I would say, okay, well, my next set would be 6 times 6. So it would be 6 rows and 6 columns, which would make 36 total units inside for a perfect square. Okay, so those are some examples of geometric patterns that are repeating and growing. Thanks so much for listening and happy practicing.